Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'd like to announce that this is the 100th post of River Road Hockey, and it's an achievement that I'm pretty proud of. Too many streamers. Our first post was on the 10th of May 2012, which happens to be exactly the same date as the game that was played for this game review. So pretty much this is our second birthday. In that time, our posts have been read by people from all over the world. We've got comments from all over Australia and New Zealand. We've met some great people and we've had a fun time doing it. And doing these videos is just the start of another part of it, so hopefully we can keep doing those for another 100 posts. I do have to thank Jane and Chelsea for starting off this post and for inviting me on board to help out. I'm really appreciative of the opportunity that they gave me in joining this site, and I look forward to helping them out as it continues on. Melbourne Ice win, beating the Melbourne Mustangs 5-3 in a surprisingly not controversial game, which is kind of odd for an Ice Mustangs game. And I hate to say it, especially on the Mustangs side, but the theme of this game was mistakes. Oh man, there were some howlers, and yeah, it cost the Mustangs the game. A great example of the mistakes that they were making was the first goal that the Mustangs gave up. Baxi was breaking in over the far boards, and Webster was waiting on the opposite boards, just waiting for the dump in. Baxi's hammered the puck around the boards. Mikey James, the goalie for the Mustangs, has skated around behind the goals to try to stop it, but in doing so manages to lose his stick. By the time he goes back to retrieve it, Webster's picked up the puck in the opposite corner, shot it on goal, and basically had an empty net to fire at. The second goal was much nicer. It was scored by Tim Johansson on a lovely feed by Liam Webster. Liam just broke into the zone, pulled up just on the blue line, sort of turned towards the boards and then backhanded the pass to Johansson, who was streaming past, and he just waited and waited and waited until James went down, flicked it up over his pad, and a great goal scored there. I do have a little bit more about the Webster-Johansson thing, so yeah, I'll get back to that in a minute. The next goal I want to talk about is Austin McKenzie's goal. Last week he scored a hat-trick against the Ice Dogs, and this week he had another goal. He dumped the puck in just as he was getting to the top of the circle. It hit Carson's pad, and Carson just lost track of where the rebound was. McKenzie followed the shot in, popped it in, nice easy goal for him. The Mustangs did score 3 goals, and I have to say the goal that Berkey scored in the second was a thing of beauty. I've never seen hands that good in a game in the AAHL for a long time. He had a breakaway, and he was just all over Jaden Pine Murphy. And his hands. Why doesn't everybody have these hands? The very next goal scored was by Liam Webster, unassisted, and yes, it was from a mistake. This time, Anderson was skating out of his zone, and Webster just managed to get the poke check, retrieve the puck, and before Carson realised that Webster had the puck in a really good spot, nice and low, in between the dots, it was over his shoulder and in the net. That was just Anderson's defensive breakout mistake. He shouldn't have tried driving the middle lane, shouldn't have tried going up against Liam Webster, and he paid the consequences for it. So Pat O'Kane gets another goal. At the start of the third, Andrew Bellick scores a goal, scores an now 4-3. Mustangs are pushing really hard to get that last goal, but there are 2 more mistakes to come. Mustangs start applying the pressure. It's 4-3. They're getting down to like 2 minutes in the game. They're really starting to push for that equaliser. The Ice managed to grab it and throw it down the end. Looks like it's going to go for an icing, but Fraser Carson decides to play it instead. Skates over to the corner, flicks the puck across the goal and straight onto Chris Wong's stick, who shoots a goal at the empty net, 5-3 with 1:45 to go, and yeah, pretty much it's game over from there. The thing that I don't get is why Carson decided to play it. If he'd just stayed in his crease, it would have been an icing. Mustangs could have got some fresh legs on. The Ice would have been stuck with people who'd been on there for the rest of their shift. And it was just a really weird play. I did say there were 2 more mistakes to come. That play by Carson was one of them. The last one was Gibbs Shodine. So Gibbs Shodine tries to intercept the Ice as they're breaking into the zone as he's crossing over the red line. Takes a massive slashing penalty, delayed call, and as soon as the whistle's blown, he decides he's going to go cross-check Jeff Smith underneath the chin. He gets 2 for the slashing, a 10-minute misconduct, and the game penalty as well. With 1.5 minutes left to go, there's no point in doing anything stupid like that, and now he's got to go sit the next game. It's just a big waste of talent. He shouldn't have bothered doing it. He should have just taken his lumps and, let it go, Now, I mentioned before that Tim Johansson goal where he got the feed from Liam Webster. Those 2 worked really well together. I don't know what's going on with them, but this is the first game they've actually played together apart from some of the exhibition games that we've had so far. That feed from Webster to Johansson was just, beautiful. And everywhere that they went, they were able to find each other without even looking. They've got a really good bond between the 2 of them. They just know where each other is on the ice. It does make a problem for the coaching staff because you run into the problem of whether you play Tim Johansson because he works so well with Webster or Gustav Hood in net. You've already got Army, Baxi, and Jeff Smith on the ice Who's going to be your fourth import? Tell you what, it's a great problem to have. I would have either of those players on the ice any day of the week. It'd just be great if we could play both. That's it for Melbourne Ice Hockey until the 5th of June. The Ice go on a massive road trip and they have a break in between. We're not going to see them until we play the Mustangs on the Thursday night. That said, a couple of the games are being streamed, so we're not completely devoid of Melbourne Ice Hockey. We're playing the Ice Dogs on the 17th, which will be streamed. We're playing the Bears on the 18th, and we're playing Canberra Brave on the 31st, which will also be streamed. So we'll get 2 games out of the 3 that they're playing away before we get to see them again. So it means I'll be able to keep up with a couple of the games while they're away, so I'm intending to do videos on those. But what I want to know is, what else do you want to see from us? Are you interested in me doing an AIHL wrap and having a look at where everything is on all the other teams? What would you like to see River Road Hockey videos do in the future? Tell me what you think, leave comments. In the meantime, I got a party to get to.